And we are back. You guys, if you could have seen me behind that intro of music back there, I was jamming. I love that track. I'm always dancing to it. Where'd Brad go? Brad, you didn't want to say hi today? Come back,
That's
Brad.
it, man. We get
Brad.
him in the beginning, and then that's it. He goes south.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, welcome to another week of the QSC DJ discussion. My name is Nate Nelson from Dallas, Texas, and I've got two guys that I'll let introduce themselves. Let us know where you're from. Start with Jordan.
Yeah, baby. The Jersey Boys, rocking and rolling. What's up, man? Jordan Marshall, Explosive Entertainment. We are the East Coast multi-op that if you guys have an excuse to have a good time, a party, and rock and roll, we got your back. Happy to be back, man. It's been a couple of weeks for me, so I'm super pumped to be back.
And I think you actually have like decent internet today. You may not freeze. We may get to see you.
I'm flowing right now. I'm flowing.
Yeah, you're looking good so far. So far, so good. Let's keep those fingers crossed. We got some people checking in the chat. So, guys, if you're in the chat, please let us know who you are, where you're from. And if you've never used StreamYard before, make sure you just click the StreamYard link so we can see who you are in those comments. But let's head down to JSG.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Glad to be back. Miss you, fellas. JSG, Jeff Scott Gould. I work with the SC Event Group out of New Jersey, and we're here to talk some stuff today. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, we're pumped for today. We got Rob McCall checking in from Liverpool, England. So on the other side of the pond, we got the U.S. over here, Jordan, Jeff, and myself. So, guys, today we're going to just kind of recap our weekends. We're going to talk a lot about our events and how things are kind of rolling right now as DJs and as if you're a musician, entertainer, whatever you are, and you're checking in today. You know that live events are back. Live events are popping. They're happening. We're busy. And so, you know, a lot of events are happening, and we're going to kind of go around and talk about some things that we've done over the last few weeks, some things that have been cool, and then we're going to talk about incorporating different things into our DJ sets, like live musicians and things like that. So check in the chat if you're here. Jordan is got his earbud out, so I'm gonna go down to Jeff real quick. But Jeff, you guys have been rocking like 4 days straight, a week up there in Jersey. I've been seeing everything on social, like Thursday to Sunday straight through. Tell us how it's been, man.
Dude, hold on, I'm just switching my camera over there. Oh, hold on.
Hey, you brought the ladies to the party too, huh?
I'm back. I was switching my camera. I know we were setting some stuff up behind the scenes. Yeah, dude, I just can't believe what's going on. This is the craziest. I mean, I've been doing this for a really long time, and this is probably the craziest schedule I've ever had. Just taking a whole year of a calendar and just like dumping it on top of 21 and then squeezing some up in between.
So it is crazy. I'm not nuts, right? It is nuts out there, right?
No.
It's like so this past weekend's 4. I got 5 this weekend. I got 5 next weekend. I mean, believe me, I'm not complaining at all. Like it's amazing, but it's definitely a test.
These are definitely good problems to have. Good problems to have.
Yeah.
Those are some of the topics I wanted to discuss today too, of like how are you dealing with it physically, because your body wasn't in shape for this. We spent so much time at home, and we talked a lot last year, Jeff, about what we can be doing to stay in shape and keeping our bodies and our minds right. But like one thing that I've noticed like hit me harder was like fatigue and like not being in the right mental space, and like how are we handling this as it's such an influence of work. Like we're used to doing 2, maybe 3 a weekend in the busy seasons, but like now you're doing 4 and 5 a week. Like, how do you keep it all together with your schedule, your routines, you know, your mental health, all those things? Like, what is working for you guys?
Well, you know what it is too, Nate. I feel like the events that we're doing right now, like they have not that they have more meaning now post COVID than before, but I feel like
you almost appreciate them more, right?
Yeah, man. And we're and I feel like we're next level partying here. Like I feel like the events that we're doing for our clients are just that much more special. So like, when it comes to like routine, like I try to keep myself regimented. I know Jeff, I know you're a big gym guy too. Like, I actually, once I found out we were getting back into it and the schedule was going to be a grueling, like, no time off and team no sleep, I'm like, man, I gotta get back into it. So I started to hit my cardio. Like, cardio is huge now. Like, so, I box, I jog a little bit. My legs are all messed up from playing soccer in high school. So I can't run for a long amount of time, but I try to get that cardio in because, man, like, especially being out on a dance floor, like for me as a full-on entertainer, I'm behind the decks as well as being out in the middle of the dance floor. So like, when I'm out there rocking, I got to make sure I can breathe and like get through it. So like cardio's been like totally like the game changer, man. Upping that and more boxing, more moving around, the rowing machine, just any excuse to like kind of move and get the heart rate up has really helped me out.
Yeah, I agree. I would say cardio, like obviously there's a balance when you're working out, like how much strength training you want to do or whatever. But I think for what we're going through now, I think cardio is definitely the win for sure. It's like an endurance.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? It is. And like, isn't like the base of your entire body, like your legs, right? That's like the foundation of everything. So you can, you can
legs
do that.
And back.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've been like, I literally go to the gym, park in the gym parking lot, run outside because it's so beautiful out. That's the only way I've been able to get any sun because we're stuck doing events.
Right.
And then I come in and work out and, just between that, like it's been, that's been the savior. I think yeah, for sure.
And I know the gym for me too, like stuff like that is like kind of like my mental out for a second too. Like with all this going on, like that's how I blow off steam. That's kind of how I get like a couple of minutes to myself to kind of like recharge. And I mean, Nate, you said it when you saw me in, what was it? It was for Tank.
I saw you in Chicago like, for Marquee.
You're like,
dude, damn, Jordan, you were little, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I've probably lost the most weight I've lost in a minute. Like I'm literally down like, to 195 or 96 pounds.
I was gonna say you got to be close to 2, bro.
Yeah,
you still got those.
I'm like but I was gonna say I haven't been
traps.
under 200 in like a minute. So like just to be under that, like, it's crazy. So that cardio and getting back into it and ready to go, man. Ready to go.
So,
let's get it.
So if you guys had to say like, my release for mental side is, both a physical activity and, a sport, something that I'm competitive in because I'm if you guys know me, I'm a very competitive person. I like to compete in anything. I like to talk trash. I like to just have fun and make everything more interesting with that aspect of things. So I play basketball a couple days a week. I'm in 2 different leagues right now. Basketball has always been kind of my out. Like if I was mad about something as a kid, I went out in the front yard and I just played basketball, it was like in the driveway, just shooting hoops, like, whatever. All through my life, basketball's always been there for me and like something that I could just get away from and it just clears my mind. What are some other activities besides physical activity that's really helped you guys stay focused over the last few months, of just seeing this influx of events and all of the things that have been happening in 2021? Like, what are those things that are really keeping you guys driving and mentally like sharp?
Automation, man. I've taken way more automation on my plate with like calendar apps, just organization apps. I've tried to, before I go to bed, kind of silence my phone. And so I'm not getting like all the buzzing throughout the night, all like the interruptions, like the texts and stuff like that. And then when I wake up in the morning, I try to hit my emails and stuff like that first before I even like turn my phone back on to like get a good like half hour of like real work done.
So that's why you never text me back at night.
That's
anymore.
exactly. There you go.
You shut it off. I'm like, damn, Jordan just doesn't keep his phone around him anymore. Like, what is going on?
We literally we burn it like 24/7 now, and like it is nonstop with clients and stuff. So when I get home and I know the day's pretty much over, I'm just trying to like chill out, recharge. And
what's your chill thing? You on Netflix? You watching shows?
Yeah, bro. So I'm watching Heels now. Heels on. I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. So like Stars just put out that new docu-series Heels. So I've been all over that, man. It's a great show. So that's been kind of like my solace.
Cool. What about you, Jeff?
So a big thing for me, I had 2 things. Obviously, like my dog just passed in May, but like my big release was my dog. Like, I loved, like, if I could walk that dude 5 times a day, I would do it. But the other thing is like motorcycles. I think an amazing thing about a motorcycle is that, you can get a helmet and put everything on it so you could have phone calls and music and everything. I like nothing. Like, I put the helmet on, I can't make phone calls, I can't answer text messages, and I'll just, my gym is like a mile and a half. I'll still take the motorcycle just to the gym. I'll go to the supermarket with the motorcycle, like any excuse to get on that thing because it's just like it's quiet time. And then the other thing I do is I'm a big movie person, so I'm like that dude that'll go to the movie at like 11:30 in the morning, sneak out with with the senior citizens. Like the movie starts at 2:10, you get there at like 2:35. You just creep in there and watch it because that's another thing too. Just like I watch it again just to escape. It's kind of a cool thing. And also because I love media, I think I spend as much time watching movies to see how they shoot as opposed to how well they tell a story. Because even in our world, you can pick up a lot of stuff from watching movies or watching TV shows, watching documentaries, like Watch Your Heels. Like you'll see stuff. You'll be like, oh my, I've gotten so many ideas just how to like shoot intros. Like, I have someone shoot me. I'm like, bro, let's do this. Like, let me talk and walk with me. Let's go backward. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I learned so much just from going to the movies that we can use in our world. So not only it's an escape, but it's like a learning thing. But I think like that motorcycle, that is a big thing for me, for like the mental part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Football season is one of those that's really big for me. And football season is back. College football starts this weekend. Everybody's probably doing their football fantasy drafts this week because NFL football starts next Thursday night. And so we're excited about that. That's like one of my big releases. I've always been into sports and video games and then kind of entertaining and music. So that's good. That's good. Well, let's talk about this past weekend. I know that, the last couple of weeks, we want to do a new segment on the show where we talk about kind of our previous events and things that we've learned from maybe something that we did at an event or, the way that we set up something differently and how we're utilizing our gear and our spaces and all of those things. So we're going to do a little show and tell where we get to go back in time and look at previous events and things that have worked really great. And maybe you guys can take some nuggets from that as you're watching today. But I do want to reset the room. We're here on the QSC Live DJ discussion, myself, Jordan Marshall, and Jeff Scott Gould. And today we're just kind of having some fun. Dylan is our usual host, and he's usually here guiding the show, but it's his second wedding anniversary today. Yeah, so if you guys are friends with him on Facebook, give him a shout out and let him know you're thinking about him. But
and we haven't gotten off the rails yet.
I know.
Yeah, we're sticking to it. We're doing well.
This is crazy.
I don't want to jinx it. But.
Yeah. So I mean, I like it, and I think that this new segment, shout out to Brad for. Coming up with the idea of doing a show and tell where we talk about our previous events. And, we want to do that. And if my picture that I'm going to show that from this past weekend, QSC posted again this week. And if you guys want your content posted and you're using QSC gear out there, make sure you're using those hashtags, Team QSC or QSC Audio or QSC Moments. And then you may get your photo reposted by QSC and get some love out there. So when you guys are taking pictures with the gear in the field, make sure you're using those hashtags, and we'll try our best to get some love shown to you. So, Jeff, you want to get us started? What you did this weekend? I know you had, or last weekend, I think is what you're going to show, but you've had some pretty crazy events over the last few weeks and utilized a lot of enhancements and things like that. So let's let Jeff go first.
Yes, that's what I was loading up before we got on there. So, and Nate, by the way, I know the picture you're going to show. That's such a boss-ass picture, by the way.
When I got there and saw, I knew I hadn't played at this venue outside, but I'd played at this venue inside. And typically when I go to this venue, it's like the easiest day ever. I pull up with my truck, no trailer. I got my backpack on because they have an in-house QSC system, which is great. They've got Sennheiser mics. They've got a DJ booth and lighting and everything. So even in their ceremony space, it's all wired for sound. All I got to do is plug an iPad in there or my laptop and then plug my laptop in upstairs. And sometimes I'll bring a controller. The reins don't fit really very well in their DJ booth. So, but they do have like a little Pioneer DDJ SB already built into it. So if I wanted to, I could just use my backpack. And it's so usually like, oh, it's the easiest place ever. But now I'm in love with being outside, and I'll show you guys that here in a few.
That's cool. So I'm going to go back to, I just like to start with this picture here. This is a venue that we're recommended at in North Jersey. It's a place called Pleasantdale Chateau. Literally, if the name itself, it used to be a chateau back in the, I don't know when, early 1900s, converted into a space that's like $400 a plate kind of a place. It took us like 5 years to get recommended at this place. But the reason I want to show this picture before I show the other stuff is like, I know a lot of us DJs, like we have all these tools we bring in like sparks and clouds and stuff like that. And you can create these amazing moments. But I think what's even cool about it is when you can take these kind of elements and introduce something else you have in there. So specifically with me, live musicians. So we had electric violinists that came and played. So I'm going to bring her out here. So this is the same room coming at a dinner. And the way we introduced her, instead of just like starting off with some house music and she comes out here, we always coordinate that she'll play strings over some songs. We'll do like we did Goo Goo Dolls, that song Shallow, and then another one she picked. But so what we'll do is we start the room pitch black. People like, why can I not see my steak? Why the room go pitch black? And then we'll start the music. She'll walk out, and then we'll start bringing up the lights, and then just backlit her first. So if you're taking a picture of the front silhouette, and then we're using like, you know, our Dancing on the Clouds for that, and then like, you know, Iris Google's like, you know, that big moment, shoot off some sparks, and this is just for dinner, just to introduce her for like, you know, for the last 2 hours to be like, hey, we got some big shit happen coming in there, you know. So it's not just like for the bride and groom for the first dance. There's so many different elements that you can take what you're using at events to use in different parts, you know, because like you can bring in a musician, but if you can introduce a musician without saying any words, you like already created another moment. You elevated like just like dinner, like for dinner, for example, which just could be like, it could be chill, it could be fun or whatever, but that little set right there sets up like, you know, now people are like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? You know? And the same thing, this is the groom. He's DJ. He is an ex-DJ, but he wanted a DJ set. So that's me in the back standing on a stage so people could see me because I want to get in the picture.
That's such a crazy shot, Jeff.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And that's the bride. And we brand our CO2 gun, you know, so when people are taking pictures, it has my name on one side, SC on the other, you know, stuff like that. But again, you know, just, you know, using all the elements. But what's the other one I have? Oh, yeah, so musicians. I love working with musicians. This girl's name is Gabby Rose, super talented. We use musicians in our nightlife stuff. This is actually a Sunday brunch. Jordan's played here before on this Sunday brunch at this place in North Jersey. Gabby is amazing. And you can see like she's mic'd. We always mic our sax players. And then to show another one, this was a really cool one a couple weeks ago. I don't know if anyone... Nate, do you guys have like Housewives of Texas or Dallas
yes.
or anything like?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So this is Melissa Gorga from Housewives of New Jersey. It was her daughter's Sweet 16. They were filming it and whatever, but this is a cool moment. So that you know, we had our percussionist. This is Crystal playing, and Crystal is super talented. She's played with Mark Anthony, and she's like crazy talented. She does a lot of nightlife. She's a girl that literally do a party till 11 o'clock, then go do a club till 4 a.m., and then be back for a bar mitzvah during the day, and then do a wedding at night. But I think musicians are incredibly powerful. There's so much you can do with them during COVID, or if you have a rescheduled wedding where, you know, like the guest count went from 160 to 55 people or 60 people. Musicians are amazing because they just create, they can roam around. It's just another weapon that you have. You can use them while dancing. You can use them while there's dead space. You can use it to create moments. Like, I don't know about you. I'm sure you guys do it too. You get whoever your guest of honor is to come up and play the drums, to come be a part of the action, whatever it is. So for me, like, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Jeff, actually, the one thing that you didn't hit too, the cool part about musicians, especially on the Jewish end, like for like mitzvahs and Jewish weddings, what people might not realize is for sundown, you can't, until sundown hits, you can't actually plug in electric. So a musician is a great way, an acoustic guitar player or a percussionist or, you know, a violinist is a great way to have them play. You can still get the upsell as a company, and they don't have to plug in anything. So, you know,
that's awesome. That's a great point.
It's an ace up your sleeve to kind of still get that vibe in there, you know?
Yeah.
And another cool thing about percussionists too, which it did happen to me like a few years back. We were working at a shitty venue, whatever, the Power Blue. We had a percussionist. The cool thing about, you know, having a percussionist, what's the first thing you start saying? We don't need no music. We don't need, and then the drummer's going, and everyone else is like full 911 squirrel mode. What the F? Get the power going. So like, if you have any musician playing like that, it's just almost like having a third laptop, having a whatever, because you can do like just, you know, there's so many weapons. I think you realize how many weapons you have when you get stuck in the shit. When something goes bad and you realize, holy shit, whatever, you're like, now you're just like, yo, here's another arsenal. Just put that in my pocket for the next time, you know?
And it's kind of nice that we don't have to be the weapons for once, Jeff, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Let somebody else be the weapon for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of that. Musicians, and then just taking whatever you have and use it in more than one way than what it's intended to be used at an event.
Yeah, I've been talking about doing musicians for a long time, and I actually had a guy that's pretty known in Dallas, plays saxophone. He has his own kind of company rolling and doing things, and I knew that he was hired to do Cocktail Hour, and so he shows up with his full rig, and he's about to plug in, and I'm like, hey, man, do you want to plug in? Like, Cocktail Hour was right in front of where, Brad, if we could bring the picture of the Knicks into the shot. Yeah, this one. So Cocktail Hour this is a huge courtyard that's outside. And so Cocktail Hour was right out here as well. And then we went inside for dinner and then came back outside for the party. So I'm like, yo, you want to plug in? I've got two really good speakers up front. And then I had QSC8s in the back that were satellites that's full surround sound. You don't even need to do anything. You got a microphone for your sax. And he was like, yeah. So we plugged him in. He played Cocktail Hour, and then he was like, man, I wish I could stick around and play. And I'm like, dude, play. This isn't my show. This is for the bride and groom. If they paid you to be here, you can play with me all night long, and we can see how we kind of mesh together. And so it was really cool to play with a musician for the first time. And I'm going to literally start adding this to packages and get his schedule and be like, yo, when can you do this? And maybe find some other backup saxophone players, because if you can find someone that's as talented as him, I have a video that we'll show here in a second. Like, it really, like they're saying, it adds so much more to your party. It's another tool in your toolbox. Then it kind of, the pressure's off of you to be 100% energy the whole time. They're out in the crowd. It's just like almost, Jordan said it best, fusion or something like hybrid, putting live and, recorded music together really makes a really cool aspect of things. But this was my setup from this past weekend. It's cool. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
I was gonna say, and Nate, I saw some of the pictures. I mean, that courtyard literally looks like 3 football fields. So
it's huge.
Just having a musician like that, because you know us, we're all about like trying to create energy. You never want a dance floor as big as the amount of guests you have coming there, and like that, you could fit 18 parties in there. And I think just like having a sax to be able to like engage people that may not be, like right where you are, because like that's almost like too much real estate, for that.
Right.
So that's another. When I was looking at that, I was like, having.
Did you see the drone shot? I wish I had it on this computer.
Yeah, I did. That was
so.
Crazy.
That was like during the party. Yeah. So we had all of our uplights all around the entire place, and he was like flying when we had to have been in an EDM track or something. But you can actually see how big that courtyard was in that shot. And they've only done like 4 weddings out there, all together. Typically, it's hot in Texas. People are not trying to have their party outside. And so we were setting up at 2:00. It was like 102 degrees. We put this design together. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, knowing that I'd been to this venue before and seen this outdoor space. But, adding the acrylic boxes, we put the Astera tubes inside those flower boxes. I don't know if people really noticed by looking at this photo. I may be able to zoom in and give you guys a better view. So if you see, those Asteras are inside those acrylic boxes. We lifted the flowers off, picked them up. I made sure the florist was cool with us doing that, so we could add that element to it. I've got the subs were right behind it. It didn't take away from anything. Having this round arch really pushed the bass forward. Like, that low end was just popping the entire night. Being outside was great. And then being able to throw pretty long with my KLA 12s was awesome. But the letters were already there when we got there. This isn't something that we have. I just came and brought my mirrored table right behind it. It kind of just blended in. The one cool thing about that mirrored table is that from the right angle, it looks like it's floating and there's nothing there. It's just my turntables are sitting on something floating because it's entirely mirrored. But yeah, this was an awesome setup. I've really had a lot of fun. Playing with the tubes, and just adding the uplights as well. For different aspects. I put them in the windowsills because it's like a Tuscany type feel. So I put them, there's 3 windows on each side of that. So I put uplights inside those windows. So they were changing throughout the time, and it was cool.
How many people were on your team for this, Nate?
2, just me and Peter.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Nice. And then the sax player. So Brad, can you bring in the video of the sax player? This is kind of shows the energy that happens during the party. And he's rocking some cool LED glasses, but he was all over the place, everywhere. And he just went with me. We had never played together. He had no idea where I was going. So I'm in and out of stuff, and it just made so much, it was really cool. But Yeah, we can get out there, Brad. Just having that energy is contagious. Like people were bouncing all around. We had a cryo gun on it too. He'd be over there like jamming on the sax while the bride's shooting cryo. Like I just can't wait to see the actual professional photos from this event because they had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, a cool part about these musicians as well, Nate. I don't know how they do it out by you guys, but I know a lot of the musicians by us sometimes bring their own like mini instruments. So like percussion players will bring like mini tambourines and maracas and like cool stuff that they can hook the bride and groom up with, or like the guests. And again, like you were saying before, it brings everybody in. It makes it more interactive. So like that's such a dope way to kind of keep everybody rolling. And it's kind of a little bit of an offset from the DJ music to where people really get into it. So
yeah, Brad, can you show that last picture? It's pretty dope. This was I've seen a lot of people talk recently about private last dances, and some markets have no idea what a private last dance is. And so it can be kind of like the first dance. We had their first dance inside. They had Sparks inside for all of that. And it's built with a full sound system, and that's where parties usually happen. So we were just able to plug into that SB, do everything we need to do inside. But we have a private last dance, which is this moment here is like one of my favorite moments of a wedding, because there's no one else in this huge area except for Marquise was actually, he's a sax player. He was playing during their song. So it was Tennessee Whiskey, and he played the entire time on their private last dance as well. And they're the only ones there. So it was Marquise, them, the photographers, and I took this picture and then bounced out for send off. But I mean, that's sexy. It's a great moment too.
It is. I hope they got a wide shot too, like with them dancing and like the whole, like whether it's fisheye or something, because just to show the bigness of the space, that even makes that like really intimate too. If you think of them just there and that,
for sure,
crazy. That's awesome.
Jordan, you want to give us a little bit of insight on the last couple of ones for you?
Yeah, man. So if you've been, following my IG and my gram, I've personally been traveling a lot lately. I was just in San Francisco, California. This past weekend, we had a gigantic bar mitzvah that was pushed back from COVID. It was a COVID reschedule, and then we literally flew the whole team out, and we ripped. It was an airline theme. So the young man Austin, he was super into like traveling and different destinations. So literally our entire main room was at the San Regis in San Francisco. They used LED, the LED wall, the 2.6 millimeter, all around the main room. So like the wall itself was the decor piece, pretty much. So like we had 4 LED panel walls in all 4 corners that would show you the different destinations as we landed. And every time we would land in a new spot. So first was Israel. And we had a dance troupe that came out and did like Israeli style dances with like authentic Israeli, costuming, that like kicked off our kind of landing in that area. So then we kind of went into a whole dance set, and each time we would go, the plane would, we'd take off and we'd land in a new spot. So it was Israel, France, we landed in Spain. So it was really cool. We had a whole like kind of worldwide kind of vibe. It was brought together with worldly music. Just great visuals, and just a really dope staff and team. I had an A+ crew out there with me that was all dressed to the nines, and airline photo status. So like we had everything from like where you would like check in for your flight up front. Everybody got authentic check in flight passes that you would check in, like boarding passes to cool. Check in throughout the night. And everything that all the decor was like old school, like almost like Pan Am-ish. Like if you ever
Dude,
saw
it looked like Catch Me If You Can. Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
that's
awesome.
Literally how we brought the bar mitzvah boy in, like almost like Leonardo DiCaprio with like his like fleet of like stewardesses, and like he was Mac Daddy for the day, and it was super dope. And that was my party that I had out there. And then while I was away, Mike actually produced this awesome backyard party for one of our higher event clients, and this guy just likes to turn up. He's a tech mogul. And he had a huge summer event that I actually have a video for here. That I'm going to see if I can share this bad boy. And let's see if we can do this. Share screen. Beep, boop, boop. And.
I'm curious to see what video is going to be, the actual video or oops, I shouldn't have showed this one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we got some background music for you guys real quick
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
while we're waiting on Jordan. It's like the new Jeopardy sound.
Can you guys see that?
No. Oh, yeah, it's coming up now. Yeah.
Cool.
An epic summer party.
You know it's a good party when you see a mermaid.
Yep. Let alone 4 of them.
Those people just dancing in the pool? That's crazy.
Sure were. So that was all literally in Homeboy's backyard, and everything that you see there, from the lighting to the tent to the live musicians to the mermaids to the dancers, the costumes, was all produced by us. And it was great, man. It ended up being a super dope event, and the actual client said that he wanted swimming mermaids, and like this is something that like we had never messed with. Like we've always had like a mermaid in like in like a champagne glass, just sitting there looking pretty. But he actually wanted them to be active. I'm like, so you want these people to swim in the pool? So
with fake tails.
with fins on. So long story short is that like we produced this, and there was like 4 of them in there, and basically the creativity and the money is out there, guys. Like if I told you what they paid for just these 4 mermaids that were swimming in the pool, you'd probably poop your pants. And this doesn't happen every day, but it's definitely there. So like if anything, push the envelope, get creative with your clients. Yeah, it was awesome.
For sure, man. Shout outs to people in the chat. We'll reset kind of real quick. Chris Heisen, DJ Kevin, Justin Titus is here. Bob Hickman, my dude. What's going on, man?
What up?
Yeah, thanks for checking in, guys. If you're still watching and you haven't said anything, let us know you're here. Let us know where you're checking in from. We'd love to shout you out and say what's up. And hope your week's going great. We're doing a new segment called Show and Tell, where we talk about some of our previous events and some of the things that we've done to kind of push the envelope. And like Jordan just said, if you're not creative and you're not talking to your clients about cool things you can do, no idea is crazy, people. I'll tell you that right now. I've literally said to people in a meeting and they're talking about these things and, we just want to have a creative meeting where we talk about some things that could happen. And I'm like, yo, like, what if we did this? Like, even if it's the most bonkers thing your mind ever could think of, like, just say it. Just say it. The worst they're going to say is no. And then if it is even something like, then you got to try to figure it out, like sell it and then go figure it out. Like you've got time. You're not booking an event today and it's happening in 2 days. Like you have months to do these things.
I would say, what did Yellow Tux Jesse say? That fun doesn't always have to make sense. It sure doesn't, man. And like,
for sure,
if you can kind of like, that's been kind of like my new one-liner going forward is that if you can figure out a way to make it cool and engaging and different, it doesn't have to necessarily make sense with everything you're doing. It's kind of like get out of your own way a little bit. And different changes is obviously scary, but being different, man, and knocking it out of the park is priceless.
Yeah. Shout out Chris Max from Chicago. Welcome, man.
Yeah,
thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us today on the DJ discussion. Guys, we do this every other week. The 4 of us. Dylan is missing today, but it's usually JSG, Jordan, Marshall, myself, and Dylan Weissman. And so just thanks for being here. You can check this out every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central. I guess it's 3 p.m. Eastern. And for those of you over on the Pacific Coast, it'd be noon? Is that right? Noon for you guys? Yeah. So we're here.
The math still works.
I know. I've kind of figured it out. I'm from Oklahoma, so you got to forgive me for my education. So it's all good. I look like I'm from Oklahoma right now with this mustache. I'm surprised neither of you said anything about it, like at all.
We thought you were going to bring it up. I thought.
I was, but I was hoping like
you're talking to 2 guys that love to play dress up, bro. So you're not doing anything.
Yo, I love to play dress up too.
You're not doing anything out of the norm, bro.
So I'll give you a little backstory on the stash. If you've been here before, you know that this is not the Nate Nelson look. And so I got I got COVID back in July, and so I was home I missed a whole month of work. Couldn't work because clients wanted negative tests, and it just doesn't happen. And so I just let my facial hair kind of go. And I'd put some posts on my Instagram like, should I keep the COVID facial hair? And everyone, majority said yes. So I had the goatee with the beard and everything. And then we have our industry awards that happens yearly. It's called the Vindies. And this year was an 80s prom theme. So no better way, I thought, than to rock 80s prom than with a mustache. And I got a Jerry curl, and I dressed up in a pink tee with a gray blazer, and kind of just went all out for the 80s. But yeah, there you go, Brad. There's the photo.
Like Bizarro Oates. He's Bizarro
yeah.
Oates.
So I dressed the part on Sunday night for the awards dinner that we had, and it was really great. And then tonight I'm performing. 4 of our DJs are performing live. We put a band together, and so we're doing like 80s rockers theme dress up for this band performance that we're doing tonight. So
you got a black mascara.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife too. I was like, babe, can I not just go buy a kit at Walmart and dye it and make it really dark?
Yeah.
She's like, no, you're not gonna do that. And I'm like, why? I'm shaving it off like as soon as I get home tonight. Like
Isn't there like
I get
something
home,
for
it's
men?
gone.
What's it called? Like great
just for men.
Just
they have those
like,
just for men
can
things. I can just put it in.
There's got to be something.
I'll grab a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Go take Jen's lash extender. She has like.
Jen, I'm not at home, man. I'm already here. Like as soon as we finish this call, I'm gonna go load up and do sound check for the band and get ready for this show tonight. So we're excited about it. But I'll post that on my Instagram tomorrow. We're doing like a 4-minute medley. It's pretty entertaining, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. But what else do you guys have coming up that you're excited about? Over the next few weeks. Just anything. I know I'm excited to see you, Jordan, at the end of the month. Coming to Dallas for the Dallas Eagles game. Even though you're a G-Man fan, you're here for the camaraderie.
I said straight up, man, it's the most priciest ticket I've paid to hang out with my boys, but I'll take it. We're gonna have a good time. I'm very excited. And then in addition to that, I'm actually traveling like pretty much for like the entire month. So it's crazy, man. I like I said, I just got back from Cali last weekend. I'm in Massachusetts this weekend. The following 3, I'm in Florida, and then I'm out to you in between there too. So
cool.
A lot of Florida, a little bit of Texas, some Maryland, and of course Jersey, all during the week. So
building up those miles.
Crazy.
It's Labor Day weekend this weekend. Jeff, you got anything crazy?
5 in a row. That's what I have. That's pretty crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I got to tell you though,
all weddings.
All weddings. Yeah.
Is that the most weddings you've ever done consecutively? Is this going to be a record?
6 would be. I did
6.
Thursday through Tuesday in.
Who gets married on Tuesday?
In New Jersey, people.
Everybody now in New Jersey, man. I got a wedding tomorrow night. Like
I think New Jersey is trying to figure out how to make an 8th day so they can book more weddings. They're really working on it. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're figuring it out.
So you guys are feeling that rat that we had early on last year when we were wide open and I was working 4 days a week. That's where you guys are in that time. People are more comfortable and they're having these events. So it's cool.
But I miss seeing all my nightlife buddies. Like I haven't been able to go out. Like the cool thing about where we are in the Northeast is we have so many talented DJs in the nightlife world. Like I love when we finish an event wherever we are, we're like, oh, let's go see so and so. Let's go see so and so. Like just to hear like new remixes, what people are dancing to, like what's moving rooms. And I've done that like 3 times the entire summer, which is a little depressing. I mean, not even like just I want to go out and rage. Just like I just like to go out and just connect to it. Like it's just. You know what I mean? It's just it was the weirdest summer.
Unless we're playing, it's not happening.
Right.
Yeah, like 3 times. Like I'm gonna go out tonight because that's all I got until we're going out for a buddy's birthday, a photographer friend of ours. And it's a little bar, but our buddy DJ Encore, super talented dude's gonna be like ripping. Killer. It's always a good time over there. But like, yeah, I gotta say honestly, I miss being able to like go to our, because I mean Jersey's got some spots. I mean like on the map spots, like DJs in Belmar's like world renowned, like Jenkinson's, like Porta, Headliner. Like these spots are just like, they get like the biggest,
iconic.
The biggest names that go play like at anywhere in Vegas come to these little like 1,500 person bars because it's just you like people appreciate music there. Like you can play. Yeah, like you had
last week, 2 weeks ago, you had Medusa at Headliner just playing.
Yeah.
I mean, like
DJs from Mars that plays at DJs for they're just But I mean, just I missed it. You know, like I'm always just like I'm like on the stories, like I want to hear like what was the DJ playing? What do they act? You know, like it's crazy.
Right.
It's like what is it like? I guess FOMO. I guess is like I would use like
Yes,
for what
lots
the
of
summer
FOMO.
was. I missed a lot of it. Ugh, you know, we have so many industry. Like I would say Sunday and Monday, Jersey probably has more parties than a lot of other states do. Like we have so many day
You're right.
parties and brunches.
Tiki Monday is world renowned.
Yeah,
know,
like
like,
our
it's literally
industry
people-
Mondays, it is like they put 3,000-4,000 people there from like noon to 6, constantly. It doesn't matter if it's raining or not. No one
Crazy.
cares. It's insane. You know, so I miss that. I do. I miss that. You know, but this weekend it's just like I'm grinding out. Just super happy. Like I got 3 couples that had to reschedule 2 or 3 times each. So happy they're gonna have like we're gonna make it happen. And then Tuesday I'll die for a couple hours. Start all over.
Jeff, how do you prep for that? Do you prep everything before this week? Are you already completely prepped? Like got your crates built? Like got any? Like I use Keynote for all of my announcements and all those things. Like, are you completely prepped now, or are you one of those guys that's like has to go one at a time? Like, yeah, that's
So everything in my world is digital except for this. Like these, I don't know if you guys do it too, but there's a copy for me, a copy for Bird who's DJing with me, and a copy for like the maitre d'. Always gets a copy, you know. So all that stuff's done ahead of time. Everything else I'll just do on here.
Yeah.
You know, like during the night I got my touch mix layered on top of that. I got the DJ app. So the DJ app, talk about prepping. Like I take all my music, it's in Serato, and then I drag it into iCloud. And then the iCloud folder, you drag right in the DJ app, and you're ready, done. Everything's here. So like that's always plugged in right next to there. And then I have my digital finals, like in case there's just some random notes that I don't want to put in there, but it's like a checks and balances for me.
right.
You know, like when you're planning, Nate, right? You get through 3 or 4 events, and you maybe get to the 5th one you're doing, and then you're like, did I forget something? Did I
Yeah.
slip?
Wait a second, because I had a call with them, and are they the ones that wanted this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like those notes are so important because, I always tell people all the time, like a wedding has the same like things that happen in it, but sometimes they're not in the same order, and it can be crazy. And so those 3, we were discussing this last week with my team about prepping for multi-day weekends or 3-day weekends, and how are we doing it? And
That'd be a great topic for us too to add for the next show too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
we could do a lot on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy because especially like when I get like Caitlin and Jim, the next day is like Caitlin and John. You're like, like don't
Yep.
say Jim, don't say Jim, say John,
Right.
say John, say John. Say,
I had a Melissa Lopez and a Michelle Lopez back to back. Like it was awful. And so you're just like, which
And-
one
and, like,
are you?
In my neck of the woods, because I'm prepping on 2 different ends too. So like I'm probably now prepping just as much as a DJ and as an event host. So there's times where I go out and I just rock a mic and I don't even get behind the decks. And then there's like when I'm back there, and the approach is 2 different, animals.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's crazy. And
Yep.
the fact even when you're Jordan, even when you're hosting, you're still thinking like a DJ because you got to be 5 songs ahead when you're like leading a crowd.
yeah.
What you're doing, you go like, we're gonna do here, we're gonna take it there. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna go there, and I got to back up on there. And you trust your DJ, but you're out there, so you're kind of feeling it a little different. So like I gotta turn here, I gotta turn here. So it's crazy when you're doing that. But yeah, we should definitely talk about that. We should like maybe.
Yeah.
If someone
We'll mark it down for next time, guys, and we'll be back
That's
in
a cool
2
topic.
weeks. Right here on the QSC Facebook page and YouTube page, talking all things DJ discussion. Hopefully we'll have our man Dylan Weissman back to lead this charge, but it's been a good day today, guys. I hope you guys enjoy your holiday weekends. Remember what you're celebrating this holiday for this weekend, so always remember that. And until we get back, I think the ladies will be back next Wednesday, so you can check out the ladies of the DJ discussion right here on QSC Facebook page and YouTube page.
Yeah.
Let's go around one more time. Jeff, tell them where they can find you. All things social. I'm sure it's all just kind of like that.
Right there. Yep.
Where's my
Jeff Scott
camera?
Gold,
Yep.
pretty much
Boop, boop,
everywhere
boop.
right there.
You can find me all things social, DJ Nate Nelson, and the one, Jordan Marshall.
Same old. Rinse
Same
and
old,
repeat,
same
baby.
old. Yep. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons. As always, if you have any questions, you can reach out directly on the QSC Facebook page regarding gear, technical specs, pricing, any of those things. And if you have any question for any of us here on the panel, hit us up on our Instagrams. We'd be happy to reach out and chat with you as well. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We out.